Welcome to floor number question mark of the Final Fantasy V Ancient Cave. Last video, we took on and defeated Zeramis from Final Fantasy IV, and we were transported to this unnumbered floor. Is it floor 100? Who knows? This is, as you can see, a battle with both Shinryu and Omega together. A little bit about my setup there. Everybody has coral rings except for Faris, so Faris was going to eat that one. That was a Dark Bow attack followed by a Power Staff attack on Shinryu to apply Berserk and Darkness status, and that's why you can see Shinryu missing the attack on Bartz right there. The equipment that our characters have on is also going to help with that. We've got defenders, we've got shields, etc. on all of our characters. We're going to be switching the bow out soon and the Power Staff for defensive weapons. Faris is going to be the big source of damage, as we will see here soon. This battle took a few attempts to set up correctly to have the right RNG, so to speak. This is an extremely dangerous battle if you are trying this in one crawl. If Omega goes for the wrong kind of attack at the beginning, for example, a blaster attack or a delta attack, right away on a character that's unprotected, you can really be set back and be out of luck. I've got Bard songs on a few characters, so we will have a couple characters in haste status, which had to be applied directly because I don't have any Hermes sandals. I didn't grind any and didn't find any in this run. That's one piece of treasure I was kind of hoping to pick up from some chests rather than try to grind them from enemies that can drop them or steal from them, just because of the time required. So we're going through our equipment here, putting on the best defensive stuff we can, and actually I'm using the Mongosh weapon because it just has the 25% weapon parry. And then we're just going to keep love songing to keep Omega stun locked as long as we can. So 2 love songers to keep Omega stun locked as long as we can. Lena is free of that responsibility. So Lena can cast White Magic, so she can cure 3. If we do get hit by a Wave Cannon, Surge Beam, whatever it is, she can also apply Haste if anybody does get knocked out of their other haste status, which would be just getting hit by Shinryu. Faris right now is just contributing to the love song singing for right now, but soon Faris will be setting herself up to be my primary damage dealer. She has the Ragnarok sword equipped, so she does not have a defensive weapon, although she does have the Aegis shield, which has less physical evade than something like the Flame shield. So I probably could have taken that off of Faris once we were finished with our setup here, once we were protected. I had the Aegis shield in there just on the off chance that it can defend the tidal wave attack, since Faris was the only one without the coral ring. Faris had a flame ring on at the beginning of this battle, by the way, for just for the record. So the atomic ray, 3 characters would nullify it with the coral ring, and then Faris would absorb it. But the tidal wave, I did not get 4 coral rings, so I could not eat that all up. So she does have the Ragnarok on, so she's going to apply Bolt 3 sword to herself and get ready to go on offense. Here we have Lena with nothing really better to do there than a Cure 2. This is a suboptimal battle, as they almost always are when you get into tense situations like this and have to improvise a little bit. Lena is going to start applying Blink to characters just to make it even more difficult for Shinryu to hit. So in order for Shinryu to hit us, Shinryu is going to have to get through its darkness status, get through the defensive checks for our shields and our defensive weapons, and then make a hit through 2 blinks in order to take out our characters. So there I apply Blink to Faris. Faris being the one without a defensive parry weapon. And so that's going to be Lena's job basically for the rest of this battle, is to keep blinks applied and keep us happy. My bards are going to just continue singing. And Faris is going to just continue wailing on Omega with Bolt 3 sword on the Ragnarok. But again, the setup on this is just the successful setup on this one. I went through a good number of battles re-rolling it until I saw what both of these enemies had waiting for me, and looked at what their first attacks could be. So lucky attacks would be Omega trying a Delta attack on somebody with a ribbon. I had 2 ribbons with this party. That would be a luckier start, or missing on a blaster attempt. Or the Atomic Ray, but if it started with something else, or like Delta attack hitting someone that could get stoned, or blaster hitting someone that could be instant death applied, that would be a re-roll for this, because this really required all of the characters to really be up and going. Ferris was going to die from the tidal wave no matter what, but I had my other 3 set up to be able to get this this battle started. So it did take some time pausing and thinking. Luckily, this is also an untimed floor. So you can see the Ragnarok with Bolt 3 Sword is doing close to max damage on Omega. Because of Love Song, Omega is not doing its counterattacks, which are really nasty, of course. These guys would be totally susceptible to a lot of those things like Quake. I even noticed like Rainbow Wind, when Omega would pull Rainbow Wind out. We are doing a lot of things that require you to not be in mute status, like singing from the bards, and Rainbow Wind totally throws that off. And if you miss a turn of that, it can really set you back big time. So to kind of recap again where we are, Shinryu is both in Berserk and Darkness status, which is kind of a standard tactic for Shinryu. Shinryu is going to just keep swinging at our characters, blindly trying to land a physical attack on one of them. And you'll see Shinryu will be attempting those very, very often. Omega is more or less stun-locked by the 2 bards. Now, this was kind of an accident in my setup, but Ferris, being the damage dealer, lines up really well with having Bartz and Kryl as my my Love Song singers, because of the way their agility numbers add up. That Ferris is slightly faster than them. So here we finally got to the end where Ferris got the turn before Bartz did, but other than that, I was able to always have Ferris attack pretty much immediately after Bartz sang his song. So Kryl would sing, a couple ticks later Bartz would sing, a couple ticks later Ferris would sing, a couple ticks later back to Kryl. So the time lined up nicely there. If you're not careful with Omega and your ATB bars get too close and you only have 2 Love Song singers, you can get 2 songs going off too close to each other and then too long a gap between them, because Omega only stays paralyzed for a few ticks of the ATB bar. But that was kind of an accident. That was not me sitting down and looking at my agility values and deciding to set it up that way. That was just something that I noticed as I was making this recording. So don't give me too much credit for that. I put on Life Song and Hero Song mostly so I could just watch the HP values tick up and watch the levels go up. There's really not much else for those other guys to do. They could probably start going on the offensive. Lena could have started casting Meteo or something. The other guys with Time Magic could use that too, Comet Meteo. I was really just relying on the Ragnarok with the Flare Sword. Again, this wasn't probably the fastest battle that it could have been, but I wanted to stay as safe as possible. So you can see, even with the Flare Sword knocking out some of the defense for Shinryu, not hitting into a weakness greatly cuts that damage down, so it's about 4,000 per attack. But Ferris, again being our fast character, is going to be getting turns pretty quickly. And I believe I set up Speed Song here also. I missed what I have my 2 singers do. I think it's Speed and Hero Song are being sung right now, so Ferris will get turns even faster as we go through. So barring the misses, it should take about 12-ish attacks from Ferris to take down Shinryu, unless the HP values have been altered. It did not look to me like they had been bumped on Omega. They look to be pretty close to, if not perfect copies of their vanilla version counterparts. And this is just a lot like the Shinryu battle. We had the Crystal Dragon Shinryu combo, and we're using a similar strategy here to what we did in that battle. And we had the Omega Prototype and Mecha Head battle before it. Again, similar strategies here, except Prototype I had to use the Holy spell once I got into the battle, because I forgot about it having extra resistances to stuff, including lightning. So you can see with the Life Song, the hit point ticks are going up. That kind of helps you watch your levels. You can also see damage from Ferris has gone up from about 4,000 to almost 6,000 here. So 150 times as good. There it is, 6,000. So there it rolled over another multiplier. But the regen status doesn't really matter, because if Shinryu lands a physical attack on any of us, it's a one-shot kill whether we are at full health or whether we are at 1 health. And that's one of the things that when you're experiencing the game, you can see that coming. But anyway, there is Shinryu and Omega down for the count. We're going to see one of my favorite screens I saw in this game, and that is Dragon Crest and Omega Seal. Take 1 to add to your collection of 1 each already. So if you did like this video or this series, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, leave me a comment, and we have an extra special surprise after this floor when we come up next time. So again, I hope you like this series, and anyone who has chimed in and left me feedback, guys like Dryzalizer, guys like Petite Miku, guys like Timmy Menard, you guys are awesome. We'll see you next time.